They'll tell you aging is just about getting older. But here's the brutal truth. Aging doesn't start when you hit 60. It starts the moment you stop learning, stop moving, and stop believing your best days are still ahead. If you're over 55, no one may have told you what's really coming and how to face it with strength, clarity, and purpose. But that's exactly what we're diving into today. Welcome to Better Life After Golden Jubilee, the channel where we tell the truth about aging and how to live fully, freely, and powerfully in your golden years. If you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, take a second to tap that like button, subscribe for weekly wellness wisdom, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Let's grow stronger together. Now, let's get into these 7 truths. Truth number 1, your social circle will shrink. No one really warns you about this part. One day, you wake up and realize the phone doesn't ring as much. The invitations slow down. You check your calendar, and it's quiet. Friends move away. Some become caregivers for spouses. Others quietly disappear from your life. It's not personal. It's life. But it stings. And if you're not careful, that quiet becomes your new normal. Here's the brutal truth. As we age, our circle naturally gets smaller. But loneliness isn't inevitable. It's a signal that your soul still craves connection. That part of you hasn't aged a day. But here's the good news. Connection is still possible, and often more meaningful now than ever before. You have the power to protect your emotional health, but it requires intention. Don't wait for someone to reach out. Be the one who calls. Schedule a weekly check-in with a sibling, an old friend, or even someone you'd like to know better. Set a reminder if you have to. Make it a ritual. And if your old circles have faded, build new ones. It's never too late. Many people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are forming friendships, richer than anything they had in their youth, because now they know what matters. Join a book club, sign up for a local class, volunteer, walk at the same park each morning. Familiar faces turn into conversations, and conversations into companionship. Yes, your social circle might shrink, but your capacity for love, laughter, and shared stories hasn't. In fact, it might be deeper now than it ever was. You don't need dozens of friends. You just need 1 or 2 who truly see you. And if you haven't found them yet, keep showing up. They might be looking for you, too. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced this shrinking circle? Or have you found new connections in your golden years? Share your story in the comments. I read every one. Truth number 2, your body speaks louder and less kindly. One morning, you wake up and something feels off. Your back aches even though you didn't lift anything heavy. Your knees complain when you stand. And the walk that used to energize you, now it leaves you needing a nap. Sound familiar? Here's the hard truth. After 55, your body stops whispering and starts shouting. What used to be minor discomfort now demands your full attention. And too often, we mistake these signals for punishment, like we've failed somehow. But your body isn't punishing you. It's pleading with you. It's saying, please take care of me differently now. In your younger years, you may have bounced back quickly from injury or overexertion. But now, your body needs a new kind of relationship, one based on listening, not pushing through. Ignoring stiffness and fatigue isn't strength. It's denial. And over time, denial turns into decline. But here's the empowering part. Your body is still capable of renewal if you give it the right kind of attention. That means trading in punishment for partnership. It means movement that restores instead of depletes. It means shifting from go harder to go wiser. What does that look like in real life? It looks like gentle, consistent movement that respects where your body is now. A 20-minute walk after breakfast. A few stretches while the kettle boils. A Tai Chi session that reconnects your breath with your balance. Even water aerobics or chair yoga. These are not signs of slowing down, but of smart adaptation. You don't need to run marathons or hit the gym 7 days a week. You just need to move intentionally and often. Because the truth is, the less you move, the harder movement becomes. And the longer you ignore your body's messages, the louder and more painful they get. Here's something else no one tells you. Strength isn't measured by how much you can lift. It's measured by how long you can live independently, climb stairs without fear, or simply get up from the floor without help. And that kind of strength? It's built slowly, with kindness. So the next time your body speaks, through an ache, a twinge, or a deep tiredness, don't silence it. Listen, it's the only one you've got, and it's asking you to work with it, not against it. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing your body has been trying to tell you lately? And how are you responding? Drop a comment below. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Truth number 3, you'll need to fight for mental sharpness. There's a quiet fear that creeps in for many people over 55, and it's not about physical health. It's about your mind. Misplacing your keys, forgetting why you walked into a room, struggling to recall a name you've known for years. You laugh it off, call it a senior moment, but deep down, it can feel like a warning bell. And in a way it is. There's a reason the phrase, use it or lose it, sticks around. It's not just a catchy saying. It's a biological reality. Just like your muscles weaken without movement, your brain slows down without challenge. But unlike a sore knee or a stiff back, the signs of mental decline can sneak up silently until one day, you realize you're not as sharp as you used to be. Here's the truth that most people avoid saying out loud. Staying mentally sharp after 55 isn't a given, it's a fight. And the enemy isn't age. It's routine. It's repetition. It's the daily autopilot that keeps you comfortable but slowly dulls your edge. But here's the powerful part. The brain can grow at any age. It's called neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to form new connections, learn new things, and adapt. And you don't need to go back to school or learn a new language to benefit. You just need to wake your brain up consistently. So how do you do that? Start small. Daily journaling helps you reflect, organize your thoughts, and notice patterns in your emotions and behavior. Crossword puzzles or word games challenge your memory and language. Learning a new skill, even something as simple as using a new app, trying a new recipe, or picking up a hobby like painting or photography, pushes your brain into new territory. Even switching up your routine, taking a different route on your walk, or reading about a topic you know nothing about, creates new neural pathways. That's the kind of activity your brain thrives on. And don't underestimate conversation. Deep, meaningful talks, even debating a book or reminiscing with an old friend, stimulate cognitive function more than passive entertainment ever could. The bottom line? Mental sharpness isn't lost overnight. It's eroded gradually through neglect, and it's regained gradually through effort. It's not about being perfect. It's about staying engaged with life, curious about the world, and willing to challenge yourself. Now let me ask you this. What's one thing you're doing or want to start doing to keep your mind sharp as you age? Drop it in the comments. You never know who you'll inspire just by sharing your answer. Truth number 4. Doctors won't always tell you everything. Here's something no one wants to admit, but you've probably felt it. You sit in the doctor's office, wait 40 minutes, and then get a 7-minute appointment. A few questions, some quick notes, a rushed prescription, and you're out the door. You nod along, but inside you're thinking, that's it. It's not your imagination. As you age, your health gets more complex, but your time with doctors often gets shorter. And while most healthcare providers genuinely care, they're juggling tight schedules, overloaded systems, and standard protocols. That means your concerns might get brushed aside, your questions might not get asked, and your options might not be fully explained. Here's the brutal truth. You can't afford to be passive about your health anymore. Not after 55. The margin for error gets smaller. Medications interact. Symptoms overlap. And what's considered normal for someone your age might not be normal for you. That's why you have to become your own health advocate, not out of mistrust, but out of responsibility. This doesn't mean doubting your doctor. It means partnering with them and coming prepared. Before every appointment, write down your top 3 concerns. Bring a list of your medications and supplements. Track any symptoms you've noticed, when they started, how often they happen, and what seems to trigger them. And bring a notebook, not just to take notes, but to remember what was said. When you're processing new information, especially when it's stressful, Your memory can get fuzzy. A written record gives you clarity later on. And if something doesn't feel right, speak up. Ask questions. Request alternatives. You're not being difficult. You're being informed. Don't assume that silence means everything is fine. Many doctors wait for the patient to bring things up. If you don't, they may not dig deeper. Here's another powerful tip. Bring someone with you. A spouse, a friend, an adult child. A second pair of ears can catch things you miss and ask questions you forget in the moment. You deserve support, not just physically, but in navigating the complexity of care. Your health is your most precious resource. And in today's healthcare system, you can't just be a patient, you have to be an active participant. So tell me this. What's one question you wish you'd asked your doctor, but didn't? Or one tip you use to stay on top of your health appointments? Leave a comment below. Your insight might help someone else take control of their health today. Truth number 5. People will start to underestimate you. At some point after 55, something shifts, not in you, but in the way people see you. Strangers start calling you sweetheart or adorable instead of strong or capable. People assume you're slowing down, less ambitious, or uninterested in learning new things. They talk at you, not with you. And before you know it, you begin to feel invisible in a world that used to look you in the eye. Here's the truth. Age doesn't erase your value, but society sometimes acts like it does. You spent decades building a life, gaining wisdom, learning the hard way, showing up for others. And now, you're supposed to sit quietly and let the world move on without you? Not a chance. When people underestimate you, it's not a sign you've become less. It's a sign they've stopped paying attention. But that doesn't mean you need to shrink to fit their expectations. It means it's time to rise, in your own way. You don't need to shout to prove your worth. You simply need to act. Surprise them. Pursue something unexpected. Start that hobby blog you've thought about for years. Volunteer for a cause that lights you up. Use your decades of experience to consult, mentor, or teach. Learn a new instrument. Join a hiking group. Speak your mind, loud and clear. You've earned the freedom to explore, to create, and to evolve, not despite your age, but because of it. The world may assume you're slowing down, but this chapter of your life can be your most powerful yet. And let's be honest, there's something incredibly satisfying about being underestimated and then turning around and surprising everyone, including yourself. Let their doubt be your fuel, not your limit. Remember this, you are not finished, not by a long shot. The version of you that's still inside, the one with ideas, passion, and purpose, deserves the spotlight just as much now as ever before. So the next time someone calls you adorable, smile. Then go do something that reminds them exactly who they're dealing with. Now let me ask you, what's one thing you've done recently that surprised even you? Or one bold move you've been thinking about making? Drop it in the comments. Let's show the world that life after 55 isn't about fading, it's about rising. Truth number 6. Sleep gets harder, but more important. You lie in bed, exhausted, yet your mind won't quiet down. Or maybe you fall asleep quickly, but wake up at 2 a.m., wide awake, staring at the ceiling. You check the clock, toss, turn, and finally drift off, just in time for the alarm. Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Sleep gets harder as you age, but it also becomes more essential than ever. And no, you're not being lazy if you feel tired during the day. You're not slowing down because you're older. You're sleep deprived. And sleep deprivation in your 50s, 60s, and 70s doesn't just make you groggy. It affects your memory, your mood, your balance, and even your immune system. But here's the catch. Most people don't realize just how much their health is being sabotaged by poor sleep. They treat it like a minor inconvenience instead of a major warning sign. The truth is, quality sleep is one of the most powerful tools for staying sharp, steady, and strong. And yet, it often becomes one of the most elusive. So why does sleep become more difficult with age? It's a mix of things: hormonal shifts, medications, increased sensitivity to noise or light, and changes in your internal clock. You may get sleepy earlier in the evening, but still find yourself restless at night. You may nap during the day and then wonder why you're wide awake at 3 a.m. You can't always control what wakes you up, but you can create habits that set you up for better rest. Start with this. Protect your bedtime like it's sacred. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Avoid screens, phones, tablets, TVs, at least an hour before bed. The blue light messes with your melatonin and tricks your brain into staying alert. Instead, create a calming wind-down ritual. Read a few pages of a book. Do gentle stretches. Sip a warm caffeine-free drink. Train your brain to associate those signals with sleep. And here's something surprising that helps. Get outside early in the day. Morning sunlight resets your internal clock and helps your body know when it's time to be alert and when it's time to rest. Just 10 to 15 minutes of natural light in the morning can improve your sleep at night. Sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. It's when your brain files memories, your body heals, and your hormones rebalance. Without it, everything suffers, and with it, everything improves. So if you're tossing and turning, don't ignore it. Don't accept it as just part of getting older. Fight for your sleep like your well-being depends on it, because it truly does. Now I want to hear from you. What's the biggest sleep challenge you've faced lately? Or what trick has helped you finally rest better? Share your experience in the comments. Someone out there might be wide awake at 2 a.m. needing exactly what you've learned. Truth number 7. Regret hurts more than wrinkles. We spend so much time worrying about crow's feet and gray hairs, about the lines on our faces, when the real pain comes from the weight we carry inside, regret. Because here's the truth. It's not the wrinkles that keep you up at night. It's the dreams you never pursued, the words you never said, the chances you let pass. No one reaches their final days wishing they'd owned more stuff, scrolled more social media, or stayed in their comfort zone. People regret the risks they didn't take, the places they didn't go, and the people they didn't love out loud while they had the chance. Aging brings many gifts, wisdom, perspective, clarity, but it also brings one haunting question. What if I'd just gone for it? The brutal truth? Time is limited, but that doesn't mean it's too late. In fact, right now might be the exact right time, because you're not as stuck as you think. You're not too old, and you haven't missed the boat, unless you decide not to swim toward it. So here's what I want you to do. Make a not too late list. Write down the things you've quietly dreamed about doing. Learning to paint, traveling to a country that's always called to you, writing your life story, forgiving someone, starting a garden, launching a YouTube channel, dancing again, anything that stirs something in your heart. Then pick one, just one, and take one small action today. Not tomorrow, not when you retire, not when life slows down. Today, because it doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to begin. You see, the pain of aging doesn't come from the mirror. It comes from the silence around your true desires. But every time you listen to that whisper inside and take a step, no matter how small, you heal a part of yourself. Regret only grows when we stay still. But purpose comes alive when we move, when we reach, when we choose to believe that this chapter still matters. And it does. So much more than you know. You've made it this far, and that alone is reason enough to start again. Not because you're chasing lost time, but because right now counts just as much as anything that came before. So here's my question for you. What's one thing you've always wanted to do? And what stopped you? Drop it in the comments. And then tell me, what's the first tiny step you're going to take today? You never know who you'll inspire just by sharing it. You've just heard 7 brutal truths about aging, but here's the beautiful twist. None of them define you. They're not limits. They're invitations. Wake-up calls. Reminders that this chapter of life isn't the end, it's the beginning of something powerful, if you choose it to be. So whether you're battling restless nights, feeling underestimated, or carrying around old regrets, remember this. You still have time. You still have choices. And your story isn't finished. If something from today's video spoke to you, if you felt seen, understood, or inspired to take action, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to Better Life After Golden Jubilee, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that aging can still be extraordinary. And most importantly, drop a comment below. Which truth hit home for you the hardest? Let's make this a space where wisdom is shared, stories are honored, and no one faces this journey alone. Because your golden years, they're just getting started. Thanks for watching today, and see you in the next video.